Settings. The Settings app is a more simplified, easy-to-use version of the old Windows control panel. Microsoft is gradually moving as many settings as possible to the new interface, so there is a single user experience across desktops, laptops, tablets, and phones. If you prefer to use the old control panel, or need a feature not available in the new Settings app, it is still available through the Quick Access menu. Right-click on the Start button and select Control Panel. Let's close out of the Control Panel. Open back up the Start menu. Settings. Select Settings from the Start menu. The Settings app is a more simplified, easy-to-use version of the old Windows control panel. Microsoft is gradually moving as many settings as possible to the new interface, so there's a single user experience across desktops, laptops, tablets, and phones. If you prefer to use the old control panel, or need a feature not available in the new Settings app, it is still available through the Quick Access menu. Right-click on the Start button and select Control Panel. Let's close out of the Control Panel. From here we can make changes to the network and internet connections, personalize the background image and colors with personalization, set up Bluetooth devices, printers, and mice with devices, and make changes to the user accounts with accounts. We will cover the various functions of the Settings app in later tutorials in more detail and link to them here. Close out of the Settings app. Power. Selecting the power option will open a callout showing the available power options. From here we can shut down the computer or restart it. Some devices may have other options like sleep and hibernate. At the top is the name of the currently logged in account. If we right-click on the account name, we will get a menu with several options. At the bottom we can select Sign Out to log out of the current account and log in using a different account. In the center, we can select Lock to lock the computer with this user logged in. Nobody would be able to use the computer without putting in a password for this account, or another account on this computer. At the top we can select Change Account Settings. This opens the Settings app on the account screen. From here we can manage our account, connect to work or school network resources, and manage sync settings. Let's close out of the Change Account Settings window and open back up the Start menu. The right side of the Start menu has a Windows 8 style start screen with dynamic tiles. Tiles are representations of apps, like we saw in the All Apps section of the left side of the keyboard. All app tiles on the right side of the Start menu also show up on the left side under All Apps. Unlike the icons for apps on the left side of the keyboard, these are live tiles that dynamically change the information they show. Apps that are set up to use live tiles can show us app information without having to open the app. The apps that can use live tiles are called Windows 10 Universal Apps. We will cover these in depth more later. The News app is showing a slideshow of the latest current news stories, and the Weather app is showing the current weather conditions. Some of the tiles currently just show the name of the app, like Calendar and Mail. After these apps are set up and used, they will begin showing new constantly updating information. These tiles can be rearranged by selecting and holding on the tile, and then dragging it around the menu. As we add or resize dynamic tiles, it will increase or decrease the size of the start menu dynamically. The tiles come in 4 available size options. As we can see on the start menu, the 4 available options are small, medium, wide, and large. Let's right-click on the News app tile to review this and other options. Resize. Selecting Resize from the menu will open a flyout menu to select the size. Unpin from start. Selecting this option will remove the live tile from the start menu. It can be added back again by selecting All Apps, finding the app in the list, and then dragging it and dropping it back. Turn live tile off. Selecting this option will turn off the real-time updating of information in the tile. Pin to taskbar. Selecting this option would attach the News app to the taskbar for quick access, like the Edge browser and Microsoft Store. Uninstall. Selecting Uninstall will allow us to completely remove the app from this computer. Any apps you uninstall can be reinstalled in the Windows Store. If you do uninstall a built-in app like News, you can get a complete list of the pre-installed apps by searching for Microsoft Corporation. Selecting in any of the blank space on the Start menu will exit the menu without making any changes. We have the option to change the size of the Start menu. If we hover the mouse over the top edge of the Start menu, the mouse icon will change to a double-sided vertical arrow. Click and hold, and drag up and down to change the size. It can be increased to this size at the maximum, and this size as the minimum. If you are someone who fell in love with the Start screen that replaced the Start menu in Windows 8, it can be turned back on through the taskbar properties. Windows 10 Universal Apps. Windows 10 Universal Apps is the new name for what Microsoft previously referred to as Metro Apps, Modern Apps, Windows Store Apps, and Windows 8 apps, among others. Unlike the traditional Windows applications that only run on the Windows desktop, Windows 10 Universal Apps will run on all Windows 10 devices, including Windows Desktop, Laptop, Windows Phone, Tablet, and the Xbox One. With traditional Windows applications, we would typically go to a web page and download an application and then install it. To simplify things with Universal Apps, we would install and uninstall through the Microsoft Store. Let's open a Universal app like Calculator by selecting the Start button, All Apps, Calculator. It opens full screen by default in a window. Unlike the Universal apps in Windows 8, Windows 10 Universal apps have controls in the top right just like traditional Windows applications. Close. The X in the top right of the window will close the app. Minimize. The left button will minimize the app to the taskbar. The app will still be running and can be restored to the previous state by selecting it from the taskbar. Restore. The middle button is used to restore the app to a size that does not take up the entire screen. Select the Restore button. We can see the Calculator app has reduced its size to a small window that is easier to work with. We can now work with Windows 10 Universal apps, just like traditional applications. And best of all, Calculator doesn't need to be full screen. Most Windows 10 Universal apps have a menu of available options located in the top left of the screen. Let's select the X in the top right of the window to exit the app. Taskbar. Let's review the Windows 10 taskbar. The taskbar runs along the bottom of the Windows desktop and includes everything from the start button on the left to the clock on the right. Cortana.